Hey everyone, it's Corbin from Tru-Security again, and yesterday I made a post about what information can be found on a boarding pass. You get your boarding pass, and you hold on to it and you show it to the lady that's checking you in on the plane, and they scan it and then they say, okay, you're supposed to be here or you're not, right? Everybody's kind of aware that it's got the gate number, the plane, the time of departure, and all that jazzy stuff on it, right? But what would happen? What would happen if you were to take a picture or a selfie with your boarding pass and the whole barcode of your boarding pass was exposed? And what do I mean by that? I mean, so when you held your phone up and you held your boarding pass up, when you took the picture, the selfie, it was able to capture the entire barcode. Somebody has figured out there's some tools that are online, and tools are just simply pieces of software that tell computers what to do, right? And what this particular tool does is it takes that barcode and it breaks it down based off of which airline that barcode is associated with, and there's information about you on that barcode, right? So, well, what's the big deal? Like, what kind of information are we talking about? Is it my social security number? Nah, it's not. It's not quite anything that bad or that dangerous. But the example that I read about was that this person was able to use these tools that are online, grab the barcode, put the barcode into the tool, and then was able to pull out information. Now, the information that they were able to grab was the person's first and last name, where the person was flying to, where they were going to, where they were coming from, all of the times, and if it was like a round trip ticket, it would also show the future flights. That's not necessarily the worst part of this, though. This person also had a frequent flyer account, and what that is basically you accumulate airline points in order to make your plane trips costless, is my understanding of them. So with the frequent flyers, that was also put into the barcode, and when they ran that tool and they grabbed the information out of the barcode, they were able to see, I'm going to probably get this wrong, but they were able to see the frequent flyer number and the rec ID of that individual. And what that allowed them to do is, because security isn't a priority for a lot of companies, and because this particular airline, I believe it was US Airways, I think, they're the ones that have been having all the issues. This particular airline doesn't use a username and password. It just uses a passcode, right? So they text you or email you a passcode. And if you have access to that text or that email, all you have to do is take that passcode and you have the rec ID, and you're now into their account. And the computer doesn't know that you're not supposed to be there. So you've logged into their account and you have access to all their frequent flyer miles. You have access to everywhere that they've been, everywhere that they're going to go, as long as it's, they put that stuff in there. And it's just, you might be thinking, okay, well, what is the big deal about somebody knowing where I went? Why does somebody care if I went to Myrtle Beach last spring break, right? Or why does somebody care if I've booked a trip to Washington, or if I've booked a trip to Texas, to go help with this flooding, right? Well, what about the scenario of if somebody knows where you're going, that means somebody can anticipate when you're going to be there. And if there was somebody that wanted to cause you harm, they could essentially plan in order to meet you at this said location, and they could cause that harm to you. But the other thing could be is you don't even have to post this stuff on Facebook. You hear all the time people saying, don't post that you're going out of town on Facebook, because then people that are trying to rob houses that are vacant because families have gone on vacation, and they know exactly where to go and they know exactly who to rob because no one's going to be home. Well, this is kind of the same thing. So if you were to take a picture of that barcode and somebody was able to reverse engineer it and find out when you were going to be gone and for how long, they could essentially plan to go and rob your house or rob your apartment or whatever they need to do because they know that you're not home, you're somewhere else. So how do you stay safe from this threat, right? Well, first things first, if the picture doesn't capture the entire barcode, they can't reverse it, right? They can't reverse engineer it. They can't take that barcode, put it into the software or put it into the tool and then find out all that information that they would want or need, rather. It's not possible. So, not taking or covering up part of the barcode or not getting the barcode into the selfie, those are some good tips as far as that's concerned. And then what about disposal? So it's like, most people, when they get those boarding passes, what do you do with them when you're done, right? I mean, if you throw it away, we're still in the same boat. Somebody can take that, get into your account, right? And then they can go from there and find out where you're going to be, what you're doing, all your travel plans, and that's no good. So, kind of the same thing that you do with checks, right? So some people, after you write void on the check, some people throw the whole thing away. Some people shred them. Some people cut them up with scissors. These are all good things. But the objective of ultimately destroying the boarding pass is to make it so that barcode cannot be reassembled. Because even if you cut it up, and then this is the extreme case, all right? Even if you cut the barcode up and somebody was to go through your trash, they could eventually, glue, tape, whatever, put that whole thing back together and still get that. So you want to make it so that barcode cannot be reassembled. That's the entire goal of this. So there's a lot of your personal information on boarding passes, and these bad guys can get it. So make sure that you keep that barcode safe while you're using it to travel. And then the other thing is, when you're done traveling, go ahead and destroy it, right? And destroy it in some proper ways. Burn it, right? Rip off little chunks, color a Sharpie over it. Make it so it just really, it's so time consuming or just not possible for a bad guy or an attacker in order to target you. So that's all from me. Nice short little video. Go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe if you want to see more. I enjoy doing these. This particular topic was submitted to me by James. James, thanks for this topic. I look forward to any more that you've got, any more input. If you guys want to hear me talk about anything else that is kind of on your mind or kind of pressing, sorry about the steering wheel in your face, go ahead and drop me a comment down below and let me know what you want me to talk about. All right, that's all from me. This is Corbin from Tru-Security. All right, have a nice day.